Hello everyone, welcome to Winged Papercrafting and welcome to Template Tuesday. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've decided to join me today. Today we're going to do another set of templates. We've got our basic template, which is the ultimate easy button this week. There's no pattern paper to this, it's all cardstock. So this is going to be very easy and very quick. So we've got cardstock here, our cardstock here that I did out of the Spotlight on Nature, and when we go to make cards with it tomorrow, I'm actually going to put a cardstock focal piece, a little leafy thing on there. But I didn't put that on the template, but we will when we go to make cards. And then this is our fun fold for the week, and this one is also relatively easy, and it looks like I've got something on that. Only cardstock is the base, and all the rest of the pieces come from the base piece, and then just some pattern paper. So another pretty easy one. So let's start with our basic one here. So we're going to open this up so we have our little recipe in there. So I'm going to start with a card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to give this a good burnish so we can get it to lay nice and flat. I've got our piece of basic white for the inside that's 4 by 5 1/4. This is going to be a piece of cardstock. It's going to go on the outside that's 4 by 5 1/4. Like I said, little Spotlight on Nature circle, and then a piece of cardstock that we're going to use for our focal piece. So very easy. So let's go ahead and get this together. Go ahead and put the white piece on the inside first. So we'll get some glue on this, and we'll center this up in here, just like that. Looks pretty good. And we'll get that pushed down, and then we'll get some glue on this piece of cardstock, and we'll put this on the outside, centered up. Just like that. And then I'm going to glue this down flat on our template. And it looks like I need to poke a couple pieces out here. But you could pop this up on some dimensionals if you like. And we very well might do that when we go to make cards. But for this, I'm just going to put it flat. And like I said, then our little leafy focal point is going to come out of here. And that is all there is to that. Simple. Okay, next, our fun fold. So let's take a look at our directions for this one. We are going to start with a card base that is 4 1/4 by 11. And I'm going to pull out the paper trimmer here because we are going to do a little bit of scoring and cutting on this. We are going to score this to start with at 5 1/2. So let's see, let's get our cutting blade out of the way. And we'll score that. I take this, fold it in half, use our bone folder here to go ahead and give this a good burnish so that it lays nice and flat. Now, we're going to open this back up on the 11-inch side, so on the long side. We're going to say that this is our front piece, and from that piece we are going to cut 1.5 inches off. So let's just put that on the 1.5 inch line, and we will slice that, and then we're going to cut 2.5 inches off. So we're going to move this over to the 2.5 inch line right there, and we'll go ahead and cut that off. Now we're going to use both of these pieces, so hang on to those. So now this leaves us with this card base. Okay, now our piece of white that we have that's 4 by 5 1/4 is going to go right in here. So let's go ahead and get that down. So I'll put some glue on this, and this just gets centered up on this piece, the biggest piece here that's left. So just like that, and we'll give that a nice press. Okay, And next we're going to do this piece that we cut off, this 1.5 inches by 4. We're going to use that. So you'll need 2 pieces of pattern paper that are the same, that are 1 1/4 by 4. And we're going to use a piece of it right here on this 1.5 by 4 inch piece that we cut off of our card base. So we can go ahead and just center this up on here, just like that. And then I'm going to set this to the side for just a second and let that dry. And we're going to take the other piece and it's going to go up here. So same pattern paper for these two, because you want them to match top and bottom. So we will center this up here, just like that. So we'll give that a nice press. Okay, now, next, we're going to take this piece now, the first piece that we put our pattern paper on. I'm going to put some glue on this, and we are going to put that right down here at the bottom. So it's just going to cover up the bottom of our piece of white cardstock. So just line this up with the edges, just like that. Give that a nice press. Okay, so there's that. So now these 2 pieces of pattern paper are going to match. Now, this is the other piece that we cut off of our card base. So this is 2.5 by 4. We're going to take a second piece of pattern paper, so different than your first two. It's 2.25 by 4. We're going to put that on here. So we'll go ahead and put some glue on that. And this is going to go right in here, centered up just like this. Just like that. Okay, and that goes right there. And then this is going to go right like this. So that's going to go there. So we're just going to line this up so that this is even here and here, as even as you can. And then just kind of keep note of where this needs to be, so we can not put glue down here, because we don't want to glue our card shut. So I'm going to put that right there. And we'll close that back, and we're just going to put this back on here now so that we're somewhat even top and bottom. Just, and again, we want to center also left to right. Okay, so we've got this now, just like that. Now, for the front, we are going to do a couple of different pieces of pattern paper. So I've used the, let's see, what did I use here? The Stylish Shapes dies to cut a couple of banners here. These are going to be out of 2 different colors of pattern paper. And what we're going to do is take scissors, and I'm just going to cut one of the ends off. So I want this end to be straight like that. And we're going to do that same thing to this other piece. Just kind of anywhere you want to cut is fine. And we're going to take these, and in the directions I have that we need 3 different pieces of pattern paper for the focal piece. One of the pieces I'm not actually going to cut and put on here, because it's kind of going to be optional when it actually comes to make the cards, and we'll do this when we go through this on Friday. I'll show you what I mean about what I want to put back there, but I just didn't feel like we needed to cut it for this. But I am going to cut these. So we're going to take one of these and put like this. And so basically our focal cluster is going to be to the right hand side of this. And then this one is going to go like this, kind of sticking out just a little bit further. And you can adjust these to whatever you think you like. And then we're going to take this other little baby stylish shape that I cut, and we're going to put that in here in the middle. And this is what we're actually going to stamp on when it comes to the card making. So I took these for my example card here, and I popped these up on some dimensionals. And you could do the dimensionals or you can leave them flat. It's going to be completely up to you. It is your card. So I'm going to put regular size dimensionals on that. And on this little guy, I'm going to put a couple of these mini dimensionals. So we'll put one right there and right there. And we'll go ahead and peel off the backings here. I'm going to take one. Bottom one is going to be with the banner on the left. So kind of like right there. Then this one, the banner is going to be on the right. I'm just going to barely overlap these. And like that. I guess we're going to move it actually down just a little bit more to the right. There, like that. And actually, now that I think about it, we can't put our dimensional there or it's going to stick off the side of our piece. So we kind of need to move it back a little bit. So maybe, let's see, let's just put it down right there and then we'll lay that down. That's probably the easier way to do that. And then this piece, we're going to stamp a tiny baby greeting on this and then it's going to go right here in the middle of both of those. So just like that. And that is our card. Cute, pretty easy. Didn't take much time at all, so looks like we're in pretty good shape here. Looks like I need to move this other dimensional over just a little bit though, because it's sticking off. And if you do that, you're going to end up gluing your card shut, and we don't want to do that. Okay, so there we go. Now that looks much better. It'll actually, I knew something was wrong when it wasn't popping up there. Okay, so let's see. Here are our 2 cards that we made today. There we go, our 2 templates. And like I said, we'll be back tomorrow to make cards from our basic one and Friday from our fun fold. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. And I will see you all back here tomorrow. Have a crafty evening. Bye.